All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give our praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Hashem, Rakakwadash, Barakathum. Give honor to the apostles and the elders of the great millstone. So what I can across the globe, put you in the word of truth and sincerity, want to say Shalom. I want to read Romans. I want to read the whole chapter. I want to get to a couple of points. In verse 2, Romans 1 and 28. And even as they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind due to things which are not convenient. Earlier in the chapter, it reads about, you know, sexual acts, um, licentiousness, licentious acts. Look that word up, you know. And, when the Lord rejects you, it's very evident, by the things that you do, by the lifestyle that you live, by the thoughts that you have, by the distancing of your spirit from your Habashmi Shai. All right, the Lord knows who are His, because they're going to act a certain way. You see, they're going to behave a certain way. They're going to speak a certain thing. Or they're not going to be creating doing no acts, some bestiality acts, fudge packing and carpet munching. You see, says, and even if they did not like to retain the Most High in their knowledge, the Most High gave them over to a reprobate mind, to those things which are not convenient. See, you got to understand that these people who have these spirits are rejected of the Lord. All right, and the Lord can't do nothing for them. What do you think we're going to do? You see, so being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers. And when you're around people in the world, man, this is why we don't like to be around them, because this is what you see all the time. You got these guys that, talking about how they're gonna, what they want to do to other men's wives. How they, in our community, it's catching, all about catching bodies and catching hats. Who could be the worst nigga? Like, what city is the niggerest? You know? When the scriptures talk about in the Apocrypha, where it says, the noise of a fool is irksome. And these are the words, these are the actions, this is the kind that we see and hear and despise. All right? These men are, it's evident, it says you should know a tree by its fruit. And these are fruits of a wicked tree. All right? And that's why it's easy to tell, or it should be easy to tell for brothers, just by how people conduct themselves, how they speak, how they interact, how they think. The backbiters, haters of the Most High, despiteful, proud, boasters, inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, man. Right, man. It says Jake is wise to do evil. Jake has so much talent and ability. You look at the ingenuity of those behind the walls, man. These are very smart and intelligent, creative brothers. All right, but yet they take that knowledge, the scripture of the knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom. They take that and make it a um, an invention for evil. You know, like your daddy Esau, man. And these kids are out of control. Our people are out of control. All right. They don't want to listen to authority. They don't want to listen to reason. You see, they want to know it all. They know it all, and they go out and get themselves in trouble. Now they're looking for their parents and loved ones to bail them out of a hole that they dug themselves in. It says, without understanding, covenant breakers, without natural affection, implacable, unmerciful, man. Now people they have a very lack of understanding, man. All right. Our people said they told Moses, all that you said we would do, you know. But yet our people turn our back on the Lord, right? They voided the contract by their ways, you know? And that's why only a remnant return, man, you know? And see, without understanding covenant breakers, without natural affection, man, these guys are phony, you know? You know, they don't have no compassion on their brother, all right? They have an evil eye toward their brother, man, you know? They backdooring each other, jealous and envious of each other, man, all right? They, fake smiles, you see? Implacable, unmerciful, man. All right, people have no mercy when it comes to each other. When it comes to the other nations, they get a pass, man. You know, I was watching a thing on TikTok how he was saying that blacks feel safe walking through their neighborhood. No, we don't. No, we don't. You know, but let another Negro walk through a neighborhood, a Jake neighborhood, and see how much they be on their bumper, man. They said they be trying to, they be applying pressure. All right. They say they on your bumper, you know. And that's how Jake is to their own people, man. All right, unmerciful, incompassionate. You see, always on edge, always on 10. This the point, verse 32. It says, who knowing the judgment of the Most High, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, they have pleasure in them that do them, man. The birds of a feather fly together, man. All right, and those wicked people, man, hey, they stick to themselves and they push their wickedness, man. Look at the music industry. You know, look at the actors. Look at the people they put on television for you to follow, man. While pumping and bigging up this alternative lifestyle, this atheistic thinking. You see, the heathenistic westernized way of living, man. You know. That's why they come against us. That's why they're upset about us. We don't have pleasure in those things, you know. But the world has pleasure in those who partake and spread the agenda of those that's in power, man, which is the elite, which are the wicked, man. You know. So with that, I'm gonna say shalom.